Okay, so what is Tantra? By the way, I compiled my what I had to learn from online conventional dating with my spiritual practice, and I wrote this book, and that's what this workshop came out of. First I was doing it with a friend, and then I took it over, and this book, much to my surprise and joy, a friend of mine called me up and said, hey, look online, this book has been designated by Book Authority as one of the best dating books of all time. So I was quite honored by that. So what is Tantra? So most people think Tantra is something pretty sleazy that you don't want to tell your parents about, and it's about how to have the biggest orgasms and be Tantra master, and there's a lot of that going around. And that might be part of it. It's not what we teach. My practice comes from Osho, and there's this beautiful quote that set off all of these workshops that I'd like to read to you. Tantra is the science of transforming ordinary lovers into soulmates. And that is the grandeur of Tantra. It can transform the whole earth. It can transform each couple into soulmates. What really struck me about this is that there's something you can do. So we have all been brainwashed since we were this high, watching Disney movies and listening to love songs and so on, that love will happen to us magically. And I have been at parties talking to people in their 70s who are still waiting for that magic thing to happen. Just that's what I thought. I'll be watching Netflix sipping a glass of wine. I guess the guy will just show up. Didn't really happen. So this quote, I love it because there's something we can do. And some of that is the work we do on ourselves, and some of that is changing our attitude. So online dating is, I heard a lot of people say it's the devil. It's not the devil. Online dating is flat, just like money's flat. It's what you do with money, right? Online dating was very helpful for me. I didn't meet my love through online dating, but I learned how to be a loving dater through online dating. I learned how to become more loving, because you know what the problem was with my dating? It was me. I thought I was a loving person. I had friends, I had a cat, I had, I just thought I was a loving person. But I had to notice that over the years, the guys I attracted were half loving. And that was matching my frequency. I was actually a half loving person. I was very judgmental about how people look, about how people dress, about how cool people are. And you know what? That's called normal. That's called normal. Most of the people in this room are not prejudiced. We're all very proud to say, I'm not prejudiced against people for the color of their skin or their sexual preference, or I'm not prejudiced for all kinds of reasons. But you know what? It's okay to be prejudiced against people for their looks, their age, everything else. And that's what we do, right? We go down the checklist and we go, no, 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 no. One of the things on my list was he can't smoke. I'm a healthy person. I don't want to be around people who smoke. Well, guess what? If I had checked that box, which I did on my online profile, when I met Greg, he's laughing. He occasionally smoked, but if he would have checked that box, we never would have met. So I'm not saying people at this point are all going, you want me to lower my standards? That's not what this is about at all. But it is about, I need to develop myself as a loving person. So Tantra is very sex positive. There's no doubt about it. We're sex positive. But the part that's about actually how to become a better lover and sexual is probably about 15% of Tantra. The rest of it is becoming embodied people. The rest of it's about becoming a loving person. Tantra is about sex connected to love, which if you think about it is very radical, because mainstream sex is not really about love at all. Sex is everywhere in the media, but do you see very many portrayals of loving sex? Not very many. If a couple's in love and loving each other for a long period of time, have you ever seen that kind of sex? You see dramatic sex, you see violent sex, you see hugely upsetting sex, you see sex crimes, but you really, loving sex is still very taboo in the mainstream. You also, so to talk about loving sex is still very taboo. So Tantra is about living in our bodies and being sex positive and being free in this way and developing ourselves so that when we're in our bodies, this will make more sense as we go along, but if we're actually in our bodies, we have a better chance of figuring out who people are, and that's what we're going to try to do in this workshop today, is develop a little more skill on how to choose, how to feel and follow our attraction, not just through our eyes. So in the mainstream world, one way they keep us enslaved to the buying machine is that they keep us cut off from our bodies. So most of us, what we're encouraged to do is walk around as heads, judging, analyzing, thinking. Now, most people in this room are smarter than the average person. It's very enjoyable to be smart, right? It's very enjoyable to think about things. But it keeps us cut off from the wisdom of our bodies. Most of us experience our bodies as kind of problematic. I wish I didn't have that extra 5 pounds. I wish I had abs. My boobs aren't big enough, right? It's kind of this thing that I have that's kind of a problem. And part of Tantra is practicing becoming in our bodies. I thought I was in my body before I went to the ashram. Because I worked out, I did yoga, I was a dancer, I ate right, I ate well. I ate kind of eating disordered, but at least it was, not a lot of French fries, whatever. And I thought that I was a body-centered person, but when I got to the ashram, I found out those are all things I'm doing to my body. I'm not actually in it. I'm not actually living in it. So some of the things we do in Tantra is we do some exercises to actually get in our body. So you guys ready to do an exercise about that?
Yes.
Okay, great. So everybody up.